Hello everybody, I'm going to be starting a series called Coding with Coddy. Welcome everyone to Coding with Coddy. What I'm going to be doing is taking you guys along with my journey of learning how to code Python. Now, I have done a little bit of Python coding, specifically with Coddy, um, but I thought it'd just be a good idea to bring you guys along with the journey, see how that goes. The first lesson will be just a brief introduction. So, Python is, as you can see here, is one of the easiest and most popular programming languages. Now, I don't know enough about coding to know if that's true, but that's what I'm going to go with. So, for our first quote unquote challenge, we have to print hello Python. Now, the code's already written out for here for us, so what we're going to have to do is run the code, and it's done. Basically, all it's told us is how to print using Python. Now, in lesson 2, we actually get to write out that code. So we're going to start off just by writing print, get the brackets, get the quotation marks, and it's just pointing out here that anything we put in the quotation marks is in fact case sensitive. So if you put capital H, it'll be capital H. If you put lowercase, it'll be lowercase. So what it wants here is capital hello world, exclamation mark. We run the code, success. Now it is saying repeat success because I have done a couple of these chapters. Don't worry, it won't take long for us to get to the point where I don't know what I'm doing at all, and we're going to learn together. Lesson 3 in the introduction, how to make a comment. So as you can see here, this right here is a comment. It is dictated by having a hash symbol in front of it. So anything you put with a hash symbol in front of it turns it into a comment. Python goes ahead and ignores anything with a hash in front of it. And all the challenge here is to replace the question mark with a hash, turn it into a comment, and that's what we've done. Recompleted. On to the next one. Okay, so this is technically chapter 2. This is no longer the introduction. This is about variables. So a variable is just a word that holds a value. And what they want us to do in this lesson is just make it so the variable equals 5. So in this case, question mark to 5, run code, another completion. The next lesson is showing that a variable can also be a string of letters or numbers. So if we want it to be a string of letters, for example, you would have to put it in quotation marks. And in this challenge, they want us to write, I am learning to code with Coddy. And remember that anything inside of these quotation marks is in fact case sensitive. So we'll just go ahead and copy exactly what it says. And the rest of us, our code is already typed out for us, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, our next lesson in variables is booleans. So a boolean is only assigned two values, true or false. Now, in this case, they want us to assign it true, so we just write true. Rest of the code is written, we don't have to worry about it. Run code, it prints out boolean equals true. Okay, so now we have our first quiz, and this is just going to show us the proper way to name variables in Python. So they've got two examples here. This here is called snake case, indicated by the underscore in between the words. This one here is called camel case, so it separates the words using a capital. Find the variable that violates the Python naming conventions. So what they're looking for is that they want our variables to be snake case, not camel case. So we'll get rid of that one. And I believe this is just going to ask us the same thing multiple times. Okay, no. So what makes greetings equal hello a good variable name? So one, it uses all lowercase, which is not camel case, which it's not exactly snake case either because it doesn't have an underscore, but it's not camel case because it doesn't have a capital. But that's not what answer it's looking for. The answer they're looking for is it describes what the value represents. So you want to have your variables named along the lines of what the actual variable is. So greetings equals hello makes a lot of sense. Easy to remember. Next question. So for this question, they're asking in Python, a equals 10 is syntactically valid but considered poor practice, which I'm going to say is true because what they want is to have somewhat of a description for what this number means. A doesn't have much of a description behind it. What they're really looking for is age here. That's what they consider good naming. And for this one, simple one is active. Camel case doesn't follow Python naming conventions. So we're just going to say false. Oh, now we've got a multiple choice. So we're just going to choose the snake case. Nice and simple. Snake case, snake case. Simple, simple. Why is X equal true considered poor naming? Yet again, it lacks descriptive meaning. Okay, so now they're going to explain to us how having zero and having none are not exactly the same thing in variables. So all it's challenged us to do is change the variable to having none. That is its assigned value. So for this one, it's a very simple challenge. It just wants us to go through the different types of variables. So in this one, all it wants us to do is initialize 3 different variables, which Python's pretty good for the fact that you don't have to tell it what sort of variable it is. Besides having strings, I can put an integer, I can put a float, and Python knows what it is. I don't have to tell it what it is. So the only reason I'd have to do that is if I'm writing a string, it wants Bob, so I'm going to write Bob, and the rest of it is printed out here for us. Don't have to change that. Ah, okay. Little mistake. Didn't put it in caps. My bad. Okay, so what Coddy actually does is it gives you the lesson. After you completed the lesson, you can do a little challenge, which just shows that you know, you understand that lesson. So all we're going to do is we're going to quickly run through these challenges just to go over what we learned in today's video. Yeah. So the first one was an integer. This one's a string, which means it has to be in quotations. And it wants Python is awesome. This one here, it wants a boolean. So we're just going to go ahead and flag it false, and it's going to print out that it is false. False. You goon. Okay, so that is chapter 1 and 2 done of coding with Coddy. We done the introduction and the variables, where we learned about the different types of variables, and that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next video.